The hidden question. In the luminous archives of the Library of Alexandria, before the flames erased entire worlds of thought, certain Gnostic initiates guarded a secret that could fracture everything you think you know. They did not write it openly. They whispered it in the deepest chambers of mystery schools. They understood something dangerous, something forbidden. What if what the world calls Sophia's fall was never a failure? What if it was a mission? A descent planned with precision, a divine infiltration into darkness itself. This idea stands in direct opposition to what Orthodox Christianity has taught for centuries. There, Sophia is remembered as the origin of cosmic disorder, a mistake, a fracture, a being whose action led to suffering, matter, and the prison of existence. But hidden texts like the Apocryphon of John tell a more unsettling story. They describe Sophia not as broken, but as conscious. They say she conceived a thought from herself, not from lack, not from chaos, from within her own being. And here is where the question begins to burn. Was that act rebellion? Was it error? Or was it purpose encoded into the fabric of reality itself? You were taught a version of this story. You were told Sophia fell, that she acted alone, that she created without her consort, that she brought forth the Demiurge, that this being shaped the material world as a prison, and that everything broken traces back to her. But look deeper. That narrative does something subtle. It turns the divine feminine into a scapegoat. It takes curiosity and calls it sin. It takes creation and calls it transgression. And maybe you have done the same in your own life. Maybe you have looked at your pain and called it failure. Maybe you have looked at your descent and called it a mistake. Maybe you believed that being cast into darkness meant you lost your way. But what if that is not true? What if the pleroma never makes mistakes? What if every fall is a movement deeper into purpose? What if every descent hides an ascent? And what if Sophia did not fall at all? What if she was sent? What if her journey into shadow was not a collapse, but the most precise and radical act of divine love ever conceived? The fall story they taught you. The traditional Gnostic story begins with a wound in heaven. In texts like the hypostasis of the archons and Pistis Sophia, Sophia is shown as an aeon who looked beyond her appointed limit. She desired to know the unknowable Father. She reached toward a source no being could grasp alone. She created without her consort. And from that solitary act came Yaldabaoth, the blind god, the Demiurge, the architect of the material prison. This is the version most people inherit. Sophia acts, Sophia falls. Sophia breaks the harmony of the pleroma. Then she sees what she has brought forth and recoils in shame and horror. Her light is trapped, her wisdom is scattered. Her divine essence becomes fragmented inside matter. A prison is born from a thought. A universe is born from a wound. This reading shaped the Gnostic imagination for centuries. It made the material world look like a flawed cosmic accident. It made matter feel like the evidence of divine failure. It gave the soul one task: escape. Church fathers like Irenaeus seized on this vision and used it to condemn Gnostic cosmology as pessimistic, world-denying, and hostile to creation. But hidden within these same texts is another possibility. Sophia conceived a thought from herself, not against herself, not outside herself, not as a corruption of her nature, from herself. That detail changes everything. If Sophia is divine wisdom, then her creative power may not be her flaw. It may be her function. Wisdom does not stay confined in unreachable light. Wisdom descends. Wisdom enters complexity. Wisdom becomes the bridge between the transcendent and the immanent. The Corpus Hermeticum speaks of divine mind descending into matter by its own will, not as punishment, as purpose. Hindu Vedanta carries the same pattern through the Avatar doctrine. Krishna descends when righteousness declines. The divine enters the world not because it is weak, but because the world must be transformed from within. Mahayana Buddhism gives another mirror. The Bodhisattva does not flee suffering alone. The Bodhisattva chooses incarnation again and again out of compassion. Sophia reflects that same sacred pattern. She embeds the light of the pleroma inside the darkness. She plants sparks where no spark should survive. This is not collapse. This is infiltration. This is not weakness. This is cosmic courage. You are repeating Sophia. Imagine the pleroma as perfect unity, pure fullness, complete light. But in a realm without resistance, nothing grows. In a realm without contrast, nothing discovers itself. Infinite being needs limitation to know its own depth. Completion needs incompletion to become conscious of itself. Sophia becomes the agent of cosmic alchemy. She creates potentiality. She creates journey. She creates struggle. She creates return. And this is why her story touches your life. You do not just study Sophia. You repeat her. Every time you reach beyond what you understand, you reenact her movement. Every time you act before certainty, you mirror her creation. And every time something breaks because of that, you call it failure. But look closer. The same force that led Sophia beyond her limit lives inside your decisions. The same impulse that created the Demiurge lives inside every moment you dared to step into the unknown. You were taught to fear that impulse. You were told to control it. But what if that impulse is not your flaw? What you call chaos may be compressed growth. What if it is your function? What if the part of you that disrupts your life is the same part trying to expand your consciousness? This is why your deepest mistakes often become your greatest awakenings. What breaks you is not the end. It is the opening. This is why the moment you thought you lost everything was the moment something in you started to see. Sophia is not only above you, she is within you. And her story is not only history, it is your pattern. Every awakening begins with forgetting. Every desire you feel carries a hidden direction. You think you are chasing objects, but you are actually chasing states. You are chasing wholeness. You are chasing union. You are chasing the memory of the pleroma. But because that memory is filtered through matter, it appears as fragmented desires. This is why nothing fully satisfies you. Not because life is empty, but because you are misreading the signal. Desire is not your weakness. It is your compass. But only if you learn how to read it. You were taught that suffering is something to escape, something to fix, something to avoid. But in every mystery tradition, suffering marks initiation. It is the threshold, not the failure. The point where the old structure can no longer hold. This is why the most transformative moments in your life often come through collapse, not because something went wrong, but because something deeper is trying to emerge. Sophia's descent is the archetype of this process, the divine entering fragmentation so that integration becomes possible. What breaks you is often what opens you. What wounds you is often what reveals you. And what you resist may be the very gate you are meant to walk through. Every enlightenment needs darkness. Every soul that rises must first experience what it means to feel lost. Maybe your pain was not only punishment. Maybe your descent was not only failure. Maybe the place that broke you was also the place that revealed you. The secret book of John carries encoded evidence of this deeper reading. Sophia hides Yaldabaoth in a luminous cloud. She places a throne. She does not simply abandon creation. She remains connected to it. Later, when the human form is shaped, Sophia pours light into it. She seeds the archonic structure with divine essence. That is not the behavior of a being who has completely failed. That is the work of someone hiding fire inside the enemy's temple. Valentinian interpretations go even further. They suggest that Sophia's passion, confusion, and suffering still serve the will of the Father. Even her disturbance helps create the intermediate psychic realm, a mixed realm, a bridge realm, a place where spirit and matter can meet. If the material world is only error, then the mission is escape. But if the material world is an intentional arena, then incarnation becomes sacred work. You are not merely trapped in matter. You did not fall into this world. You entered it. You are embedded here as an agent of transformation. There is another layer most people do not see. It is not just that you are inside a system. It is that part of you is attached to it. Freedom is not always welcomed. Real freedom removes excuses. It removes the comfort of blaming forces outside you. It places responsibility back into your hands, and that is terrifying. This is why many people sense truth, but turn away from it, not because it is hidden, but because it demands change. Sophia's descent did not only create a prison, it revealed who is willing to wake up inside it, and who prefers to stay asleep. Before you can understand Sophia, you must question who you think you are. The identity you carry feels solid. It feels continuous. It feels personal. But what if it is constructed, not by you, but by the very system Sophia entered? The archons do not control you by force. They shape the lens through which you perceive yourself. Your fears, your ambitions, your insecurities, even your sense of self may not be entirely yours. The ego is not your enemy. It is your first shield. It was built to help you navigate fragmentation, to survive separation, to create coherence inside chaos. But what protects you at one stage will limit you at another. Awakening does not mean destroying the ego. It means seeing through it, using it without becoming it. Sophia's fragmentation required structures, and the ego is one of them. But you were never meant to stay inside it forever. They may be patterned responses designed to keep consciousness localized. This is the deeper prison, not walls, not chains. Identity. And this is why awakening feels like disintegration. The real prison and the real work. Because what is breaking is not your true self. It is the structure that defined you. Sophia's descent did not just create a world. It created a way of seeing. And to awaken is to see through that lens without destroying the experience itself. That changes the whole meaning of gnosis. Gnosis is not just remembering your origin and fleeing the prison. Gnosis is integration. It is learning how to carry heaven inside the body. It is learning how to make matter transparent to spirit. Hermetic alchemy understood this clearly. The goal was not to reject the body. The goal was to unite body and soul into an indestructible substance. The enlightened human does not hate the earth. The enlightened human embraces heaven and earth at once. Tantra says the world is the body of Shakti. Leela says creation is divine play. Shekinah says the holy presence dwells inside the world. The world soul says matter is not dead, it is sleeping light. The ancient mystery schools taught this through ritual. At Eleusis, initiates descended before they rose. In the Orphic mysteries, the soul carried both earthly and divine nature. In the Valentinian bridal chamber, union symbolized the healing of division. The fall was part of the rise. Fragmentation was the prelude to synthesis. You become fully human so you can become truly divine. This is the deeper body of the argument. Sophia's descent is cosmic strategy for self-realization. The pleroma needs novelty. It needs authentic choice. It needs beings who can forget, struggle, awaken, and return with lived wisdom. Human souls are seeds of her light. The traditional view offers comfort because it says you are only trapped. The mission view demands responsibility because it says you are also sent. Your struggles are not meaningless. They polish consciousness. The Demiurge's prison becomes a chrysalis. The Demiurge may not be what you were told, not just a tyrant, not just a false god, but a necessary structure, a system that stabilizes perception. Without limitation, you cannot perceive anything. Without boundaries, there is no form. Without form, there is no experience. The Demiurge creates the grid that allows consciousness to localize itself. He is blind, not because he is evil, but because he is focused. Focus creates exclusion, and exclusion creates identity. The prison is also the lens. Without the lens, nothing can be seen. The cage is also the frame, and without the frame, the picture disappears. This does not make the prison good, but it makes it meaningful. It turns the enemy into a function. The archons become unwitting servants. The archons are not only cosmic entities, they are patterns within you. Every time you doubt your own clarity, that is an archonic voice. Every time you shrink to fit into expectations, that is an archonic adjustment. Every time you choose comfort over truth, that is an archonic influence. They do not need to control the world if they can shape your perception. This is why the battlefield is internal. Pause before you leave this video and bring your attention back into your body. Notice your breath. Notice the tension you carry, and ask yourself one precise question without distraction. Where in my life am I still calling my descent a mistake instead of a movement? Then choose one small action today that reflects awareness instead of reaction. Speak truth where you usually stay silent. Observe a pattern instead of repeating it, and write down what you notice, because awakening is not an idea you agree with. It is a pattern you interrupt and a direction you consciously choose to follow again and again. This is why Sophia placed light inside you, not to escape the system, but to transform it from within. Matter becomes spirit in maximum density, and the final paradox remains. Did Sophia fall, or was she sent? From one level, she fell. From a deeper level, she was sent. The Gnostic secret is double vision. You are both the fallen fragment and the divine agent. You are both wounded and commissioned. You are both lost in the world and placed here to redeem it from within. Final awakening and call. If something in these words stirred inside you, do not ignore it. That signal is not random. It is a memory trying to return. Memory is not just psychological. It is ontological. It is the thread that connects you back to your origin. Every time something feels familiar in a way you cannot explain, that is memory, not of events, but of essence. Sophia's light inside you does not shout. It resonates. It recognizes. This is why certain truths feel like remembering, not learning. And this is why forgetting is necessary. Because without forgetting, remembering would have no meaning. If you feel that your life is not an accident but an appointment, then a different path is already opening. This is the path of the Gnostic agent. Not a believer, not an escape artist, a participant in transformation. Every moment becomes an entry point. Awakening is not one moment. It is thousands of small choices. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, something shifts. Each time you choose truth over comfort, something opens. Each time you refuse to collapse back into old patterns, something stabilizes. This is how transformation happens, not in one revelation, but in repeated alignment. Every struggle becomes material. Every failure becomes fuel. You are not here to avoid the world. You are here to work within it. Your body is not an obstacle. It is the interface where transformation happens. This is why ignoring the body disconnects you from the process. Sophia did not descend into ideas. She descended into density, and density is processed through sensation. If you want to understand your path, you must learn to read your own body. It is where the infinite negotiates with the finite. You were taught to transcend the body. But what if the body is the place where transformation actually happens? Not outside it, not beyond it, within it. Sophia descended into density, and so did you. If you reject the body, you reject the very field where awakening becomes real. To turn ignorance into wisdom, to turn darkness into light, to turn separation into unity. This is not abstract theology. This is lived practice. This is how consciousness evolves through you. The pain you carry is not only weight, It is pressure shaping something precise. The loneliness you feel is not only absence, it is space where awareness sharpens. The confusion you face is not only chaos, it is friction that reveals clarity. Light is not proven in comfort. Light is proven in darkness, and it is proven when it does not go out. If you recognize this, then you are not alone. There are others who see it. There is a loneliness on this path that cannot be explained, not because you are abandoned, but because you are seeing differently. You begin to see patterns others ignore. This creates distance, not by choice, but by clarity. This is the silent cost of awakening. Clarity has a cost. It removes the comfort of illusion. It removes the comfort of simple answers. You lose the illusion that life is random, but what you gain is something deeper: alignment, precision, presence. Notice the patterns in your life, the same cycles repeating with different faces. This is not coincidence. It is recursion repeating until you see. What repeats is what you have not faced. The system repeats until you see, not to punish you, but to complete something unfinished. Sophia's descent is not linear, it is cyclical, and so is your awakening. And that changes how you move through the world. But it is also the hidden confirmation, because truth separates before it unites. Others who refuse inherited narratives that reduce existence to error. Others who understand that awakening is not escape but integration. Join that current. Engage deeply. Question what you were taught. Awakening is not safe. Some awakenings are only new identities in disguise wearing spiritual language. Some are just ego restructuring itself in a more subtle form. This is why discernment matters. True awakening does not inflate you. It strips you. It removes certainty. It dissolves the need to appear awakened. Sophia's path is not about becoming special. It is about becoming transparent to truth, and that is far more demanding. It will not make your life comfortable. It will remove illusions that once protected you. It will expose patterns you were not ready to see. It will break identities you depended on. This is why most people stop halfway. Not because they cannot see, but because they cannot endure what they see. Sophia's descent was not only an act of love, it was an act of risk. And if you follow that path, you inherit that risk. You will outgrow environments. You will question relationships. You will feel alone in rooms where you once belonged. This is not failure. This is the cost of clarity. Not as a casual interest, but as a sign of what you carry. Because the impulse to seek truth is not random. It is evidence of Sophia's light moving through you. At some point, the question changes. It is no longer, why am I here? It becomes, what am I doing here? That is the shift from passive existence to active participation. Sophia's story is not meant to explain the universe. It is meant to activate you within it. And once you see that, you cannot unsee it. And now the responsibility is yours, to remember why you came here, to remember what you chose before you forgot. Time may be the deepest illusion of all, not because it is false, but because it structures perception. It creates sequence. It creates cause and effect. It creates the illusion of separation between fall and return. But from a higher perspective, everything is happening at once. The descent and the ascent are simultaneous. Sophia is not moving through time. She is expressing through it. And so are you. What if the fall never happened in time? What if it is happening now? What if it is happening through you? From the level of eternity, there is no sequence. No before, no after. Only expression. Only unfolding. Sophia does not fall once. She is always descending and always returning. Every moment you forget yourself is the fall. Every moment you remember is the ascent. The entire cosmology collapses into your present awareness. This is not ancient history. This is immediate reality. The pleroma is not waiting for you to run away. It is waiting for you to return, not empty-handed, but carrying the wisdom you forged in matter, carrying the light you kept alive in darkness. You are not just someone searching for truth. You are part of what truth is doing. You are not outside the process. You are the process. The moment you realize that, everything changes. Your life is no longer something that happens to you. It becomes something that moves through you with intent. That is the shift. From observer to participant. From victim to agent. From lost to placed. Carrying the proof that descent was never the end, but the beginning of becoming. You were never lost. You were placed. If this perspective shifted something in you, do not let it fade back into noise. Stay with it and go deeper by subscribing and becoming part of this space where we question inherited narratives and rebuild awareness from the inside out. Share this with someone who is still calling their awakening a mistake, and leave a comment with the one pattern you are ready to break. Because this is not just content to consume, it is a process you step into, and the more consciously you engage, the clearer your path becomes. Not through belief, but through repeated alignment with what you already know beneath the surface.